we've seen Gotham Cities in various games. We've already explored it. What's going to make your Gotham City and Gotham Knights unique, and how did you approach that?
I think we started out really from the position of we knew we were going to be doing a bit of a deep dive into Gotham's history. And there was an opportunity then to say, how does Gotham's history give rise to the form of that city? So if you have these five founding families that were responsible for establishing the original city in the 1600s, some of whom eventually go on to found the Court of Owls, what was their influence? How did they make their own unique perspectives felt? And so what that let us do is define a city around these key boroughs, each of which owes part of its identity to the family that founded it. And so that was our starting point. And so from there, we talked a lot about, well, what are the different gameplay stories that we would like to try to support? I want a different feeling when I'm traversing the rooftops of the Cauldron versus when I might be blasting along my bat cycle over the bridges into the West End, or using my grapple to navigate through the industrial sections of South Side. And so all of these ideas kind of coalesced and gave us a kind of palette of different environmental sort of colors that we could then use to paint the city as a whole.
Okay. And then you're talking about gameplay. We used to just, the Dark Knight. Now we have 4 different characters who you've been able to play as. What is going to make their storylines unique? Do you have enough time to do it in a game?
Yeah, and it's always the challenge, right? Because if we were this would already be an ambitious game if it had one protagonist, and we've got 4. So I think really what we agreed on early on was by taking this starting point, the death of Batman and the kind of violent shaking up of the status quo of Gotham, what it does is it instantly draws in these 4 heroes because they are the 4 closest parts of the inner circle, of the Batman family. And we've said that they're estranged from each other. We've said that they haven't necessarily been working together, in the last several years. And so it's that initial kind of crisis of how do we adapt to the loss of our mentor? And furthermore, how do we keep this city from just collapsing into chaos? So it hardens and focuses their attention and their energies in a way that causes them to have to almost like delay their mourning and delay the way they manage their grief, but they can't put it off forever. And so we see that arc unfold, particularly when we're in the Belfry and we're seeing these characters interacting with each other without their masks on. We see Jason and Barbara and Dick and Tim as opposed to their costumed identities. And that's where we have that opportunity to tell a full and rich story around these 4 characters. In terms of gameplay, what we said from the beginning is these are 4 heroes that are already different when they were, at their starting point, and now we're going to make them even more different. So we're going to supply each of them with an extensive set of ability trees that allow players to kind of fine-tune the specific style of play that they're going to take with them, but you're really going to see them evolve and ultimately become kind of the ultimate version of themselves once they hit the level of knighthood, we call it.
Great. Patrick, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.